A couple of things that I wanted to kind of point out as I was going through. It's got lots of little tidbits in there, and I didn't think that the one scene came as early as it did, so that was good. We got to see the one thing I want to talk about. But okay, Morpheus makes the comment, "What's real?" in the movie, and he asks, what is real to you? What is reality to you? How do you define what's real? So, what about you guys? What do you think? What's real? What defines reality?
Your own experiences.
Okay, your own experiences. Okay. All right. Nothing's really real. Okay.
I mean, nothing really. Can't really prove reality to someone.
Is it just what you believe to exist?
What you believe to exist. Okay. And for an individual, I mean, it's kind of where you're at, right? Can you prove anything other than what you perceive to yourself? No, that'd be kind of self-contradictory. So we're going to see some philosophers that talk a little about that. I think the Matrix is a good thing to bounce off of when we're talking about George Berkeley, who we're talking about a little bit later, because initially George Berkeley sounds kind of foolish, but after you think about like what we see in the movie and think about that scenario, there was some very unrealistic things about the Matrix. I mean, first of all, why would you make this big elaborate thing to subdue people when you could have like bigger animals that put off more energy and, cow, an ox. That's my thinking. They got a lot more heat and a lot more, so why would you use human beings? I mean, that's the question to ask there. So there's a lot of faulty thinking to me in the Matrix, but it's a movie. Hey, it's Hollywood. What do you expect? Morpheus asked that question when he put him in that little training seminar, in that little program where it's all white background and all that. He says, what's real? How do you define real? And for us as individuals, well, it's what we perceive. That's what we would call what's real, right? It ends up being, can I say what you know to be real? How many of you have been to California? Okay. How many of you have not been to California? Do you believe California is real? Okay. I've never been to California. I've been all around there. I lived in the Seattle area. Went to school up there for a couple of years. I've been down as far as Portland, Oregon, and been around that area. I haven't been to Arizona. I haven't been to California. I don't think I've hit Nevada. So I still accept that those places are real. Why?
People told you. What do you hear about that?
Somebody else told me about it. It's on the internet. Okay, well, I see what? I don't know that that's California. I mean, they say who's they? Somebody else that I don't know usually. Now, I've known some people who live in California, so they said. Okay, see where I'm going with that? How do you know? How do you know California exists? But we would say we know it does. No, do you really know that California exists? Or is that really true belief? Yes, it is in actuality there, but you can't say you know that because you haven't experienced it. Yeah. What's that?
The world is flat.
The world is flat. Yes, I use it. Thank you. That's my example. I think I already used that in class. That's a good one, though. I use that one all the time. We all know the world is flat. Fantastic. We all know that the Earth is the center of the universe. The sun goes around us. We see it come up. We see it go down.
At the bottom of the ocean.
Man, that Galileo guy messes stuff up in our world. Right? One of the things that we're going to talk about is truth. What is truth is a question. What is truth? And first person I'm aware of to ask this question was Pontius Pilate, a Roman governor. What is truth? For a lot of folks, that's defined by what they've experienced or what they choose to believe. For all of us, we make choices about what we believe, don't we? You make choices. I just can't believe that. Well, you choose not to believe whatever it is. The evidence or lack of evidence doesn't even make any difference sometimes. We just make choices about what we believe. We've already talked about how important belief is, right? Belief is as important as getting up out of bed in the morning. You're going to make a choice when you wake up. You know, and you may find your reality may change. A person, I work with people who have disabilities. In fact, I was presented at a disabilities conference yesterday, and work around a lot of folks that have spinal injuries, and they don't get up out of bed every morning. They don't. They can't. Physiologically cannot do that anymore. Some of them due to car accidents and that kind of thing. And you know, it's a sad situation for them. You know, most of the ones I know have adapted well and do well. Actually, I know a lady that does the same thing I do for a living, and she's quadriplegic. So there's a lot that folks can do. They can do. But she can't get herself up out of bed. She can't take a bath by herself. You know, these are things she can't do physically. And she knows when she wakes up in the morning that that's the way that is. But a person who can do that physiologically but did not believe so, if a person who was in that situation woke up one morning, if she woke up one morning and the body had changed, something had reconnected, and she did have, her nervous system was back intact, let's just say, hypothetically, but she's been in that situation for years, do you think she's going to try to get out of bed? She wouldn't believe, even though she was, you know, healed of the problem, she would not believe that. She wouldn't know that that had happened. All right, I'm using a hypothetical. I'm sure somebody would probably notice a difference in there. Something going on would be different, but so our beliefs have a lot to do with what we do every day, and they're very, you know, it's very important that we take that into consideration. So, and we'll talk about political. I'm not going to steal that thunder early, but we'll talk about political philosophy later. What people believe is what nations go to war over, isn't it? People in mass quantity die over beliefs. So what you believe is very important. And no, Philosophy 101 or 1123, as we tag it here, you know, may not be the most important class you take for your studies, but we just want to get you thinking about how important belief is, your thinking is, and critical thinking, because what you believe may be what changes our nation one day. You might be the next president. Hey, we had one come from went to school with my dad, President Clinton, went to school, you know, Hot Springs High. You know, my dad was a year behind him. You don't know what might change your life. But see, you don't believe that you'll be the next president, do you? You don't believe that. If you look in the old gold book, that was our. Do you believe you'll be the next president? Okay, we'll see.
Well, not the very next.
Well, yeah. Okay, you got a few years to go, actually. So, well, there you go. See, heroes going to climb the ladder. Okay, see, and that may very well be the case. You know, you better take it. You know, do the healthcare right and all that stuff. I'll be screwing that up now. You know, because I'll be an old man and stuff. You know, but see, if you don't believe that, if you don't believe that you could achieve something like that, you're never going to walk in that direction. You know, I saw. If you look in the old gold book, 1960, whatever it was, 65, old gold book, I think. That's the Hot Springs High School, yearbook thing. I ran into a lady that was a classmate of my father's in previous job position, and we got talking. She whipped out an old gold book and she started opening pages to it, and it has a picture. And I guess you can see it somewhere online. They make note of this, but. It's a picture of Bill Clinton shaking President Kennedy's hand. Has anybody seen that picture?
No.
It was almost prophetic. And he was like Clinton was a school political, whatever he was, the school senate kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about, something like that. Maybe he went to governor's school that year or something. I don't remember what the deal was, but he's shaking his hand right there on the campus of a former president, and he would be one day. And it's pretty hairy to look at that and go, wow, who would ever thought, But you never know. I mean, the whole Bush thing, father makes it and then the son, come on. What are the chances in history of that happening? Of another person's son getting elected? Crazy things happen. But if we don't believe in that direction, we won't go in that direction. How many of you, most of you are young in here. In fact, all of you are young in here.